Free and Fit podcast, your favorite podcast in the world. Happy New Year's. 2025 is here. Very, very excited for this year. I feel like I'm going to go through a lot of changes this year. I feel it. But we're back with my podcast. And today we are diving into something that a lot of you ask about. We're going to be talking about fat loss phase. I know it can feel like it's a big deal or it's something super big, especially like when we coach our clients in our program. It's always like a big preparation for fat loss phase. And people always feel like clients always feels like there's going to be a huge change in their plans. Like it's going to be something very drastic. And so I just want to touch on the basics and really give you a blueprint on how to go through your maybe first, second, third, who knows, fat loss phase and be super successful, because it's pretty straightforward once I break it down for you. And by the end of this episode, you will not only understand what fat loss phase is, but also really how to prepare for it, how to manage it, and actually get the best results. So let's get into it. First off, guys, what is fat loss phase? It's pretty much when you intentionally eat less calories than your body burns so you can lose fat. Now you might be like, well, that's pretty simple, right? But it's not just about losing weight, and that's where people get it really twisted. It's about losing fat while you're maintaining as much muscle as possible. Because let's be honest, no one wants to lose their hard-earned muscles or feel like super weak just to see smaller number on the scale. If you've been doing some sort of fitness or you've been exercising, trying to eat healthy for some time, you know how incredibly hard is it to put on muscle. And so then when you go to fat loss, you don't necessarily focus on just on the scale and you're like, I just want to see the number go down, because you understand that the last thing that you want is to finish fat loss, look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, I still don't like what I see. And then you end up looking skinny fat because you did the whole fat loss phase wrong and you lost a lot of muscle. So like I said, that's probably not what you want. So before you jump into the fat loss phase, you first thing first need to make sure that you are 100% ready for it. Now, what I mean by that, I want you to think of it like a prepping for a hike, right? You wouldn't go without the right shoes, without snacks and water. So I have this checklist for you to see if you are ready. And I believe that a lot of you are like thinking like, what kind of checklist? Like I've never heard of this. And it's because all you've been doing your whole life is pretty much just slashing your calories every time you wanted to lose weight, without really understanding that fat loss phase is just strategically planned temporarily phase. So hopefully after you listen to this episode, you'll be like, damn it, like I had no idea, no shit, that I was losing the same 10 pounds over and over the last 5 years and I wasn't able to get any results. So now let's talk about the checklist. So number one, like I said, you have to be ready, just like you would get ready for any hike. Digestion. Right? Look at your digestion. Are you going to the bathroom every day? If you are constantly bloated, if you're constantly backed up and you don't go to the bathroom, you don't poop for several days, it's simply a sign that you need to work on your gut health first. Because guys, when you go to fat loss phase, you have to think of fat loss phase as a phase where you're putting your body through stress, right? Because eating below your maintenance calories, which is the only way to lose weight, will cause your body increased cortisol, which is your stress hormone, because you're consuming less food that your body needs in order to maintain its weight. So if you don't check off all these things on my list that I'm gonna break down for you, you are taking the risk that you're going to start fat loss and you're going to feel like a garbage and you're not going to get results. So number one is super important, your digestion. Do you poop every single day? right? Do you feel bloated? Do you feel like you just not good on daily basis? Every time you eat, you just feel like your guts gets better, like your belly is just poked. Like how do you feel? If you don't feel like your digestion is working properly, it's just a sign that your body or you need to work on your gut health first. Number 2 is your sleep. Are you waking up feeling rested? Are you just dragging yourself out of bed? Like, how do you feel when you wake up first thing in the morning? Because poor sleep messes with your hormones, and it will make your fat loss phase so much harder. Number 3, your hormonal health. This is so freaking huge. Any weird symptoms like low energy, mood swings, irregular periods, a lot of cravings, just like being, irritated very easily. These are signs your body might not be ready for fat loss just yet. And again, if you're gonna drop your calories saying, I just wanna lose weight, I don't care, you're not gonna have a good time. And all these symptoms will get even worse. So make sure that you're paying attention to these things. Your energy level is huge too, right? A lot of you ladies and even men, you guys are eating 1200 calories a day, feeling constantly tired. Some of you don't even know how feeling energized feels anymore. So do you have steady energy throughout the day, or do you like literally crash every afternoon after like 2-3 p.m.? Like, guys, you need to remember that fat loss requires a lot from your body, so you need to be in a good place energy-wise to start. Stress is huge. Like I said, just being in a fat loss phase and eating below your maintenance calories means that you're putting your body through stress. Your body doesn't know that you want to have six-pack. Your body just recognizes like, oh my God, there is like less energy coming in. So that is going to increase your cortisol stress level. So do a little bit of reflection. Like, how is your stress? If you're constantly stressed out, like whether it's from work, you got in a fight with your spouse, like whatever it is, your body might resist fat loss because it's already in like, let's call it quote unquote survival mode, right? And you guys, I can even tell you, like even our clients, right? Like when they're in our program, they follow their plans to the T, but they are stressed the fuck out and they're just not losing fat because their body just pumps the brake and say, I don't care that you want to have six-pack, you're putting me through too much stress and I'm just not going to be losing weight. So your stress. Hydration. Are you drinking enough water? Right? Take your weight in pounds divided by 2, and that should be your goal of how much water you should drink on a daily basis. Vegetables. I know a lot of you struggles with this, but I still have to say this. Are you eating at least 2 to 3 servings of veggies a day? Because the reason why I'm saying that is because, yes, you can create a calorie deficit of 500 calories a day by eating 3 donuts or 4 donuts a day, because one of them has, I don't know, 300-400 calories. So if you are going to eat 3 donuts a day, you're going to lose weight, you're going to be in a calorie deficit, but you're not going to have a good time, you're not going to feel good, you're going to feel like trash, you're not going to have energy because donuts literally have no protein, no fiber in it, like it's just really empty calories, it's going to make you feel like garbage. So make sure that before you do a fat loss phase, you at least know that you're getting 2 to 3 servings of veggies a day. Because like I said, they're full of fiber, which keeps you full and supports your digestion. Protein is huge. I know a lot of you struggles with protein intake. I've done a few episodes on protein already, but are you hitting your protein goals? The reason why, again, is because protein helps retain your muscle, which is what we want. Remember, we don't want to end the fat loss phase feeling like, oh my God, like we lost all of our muscles and now I look skinny fat. And also it keeps you full, right? It's very satiated. Every single time in one episode there is a word that I just cannot pronounce, but you guys been listening to me for a long time, so you probably already got used to my accent. I don't know what number on the list, but it's your activity level. Have you been consistent with your workout and daily movement? Fat loss, you guys, isn't the time to suddenly become active. It's the time to build on your already existing routine. So if you haven't been hitting the gym and now you're like, New Year's, new me, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in next 2 months, but you haven't been to the gym for months. You literally don't even know if you still have membership. You barely do any steps in a day and you're pretty much starting from scratch. It's gonna be really hard for you to maintain some sort of routine because you haven't been in one for a long time. So, I mean, give yourself some time to build up a little bit of routine before you jump into fat loss, because the problem with this is that I feel like a lot of people are like, I want to lose weight now. And they just like go so hard and they just like go from 0 to 100. And next thing you know, January 15th, hits and you're back in your old routine because what you've been doing just haven't been sustainable because you literally went from like 0 to 100. So don't do that. And the last point that I have is probably one that you will be like, oh shit, like I'm definitely not ready for fat loss. So maintenance calories. Have you been eating at your maintenance calories for at least, I want to say, really depends, but a minimum of like 6 to 8 to 12 weeks before you start fat loss? Depends on your dieting history and all these things, but have you been eating at your maintenance for a while? Because this gives your body stability before you ask it to enter deficit. What I mean by that you guys, so many of you live in a calorie deficit. Like you've been eating 1200 calories for, as you can even remember when was the last time you ate more than that. That is not your maintenance. Generally speaking, every single one of you, like if you're a woman, 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", you were like, I don't know, around 140, 160, 170 pounds, even heavier. Like generally speaking, every single woman that I've ever worked with, her maintenance calories are a minimum 2000 calories. A minimum, but majority of my clients are literally at their maintenance eating like 25, 26, 2700 calories. Depends, right? So have you been eating this much food? Because if you haven't, you've been simply below your maintenance calories, you're probably metabolically adapted, meaning that your body has adapted to the low calorie intake where those calories now became your new set point. So eating 1200 calories now is your maintenance, your new set point. And in that case, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you're not ready for fat loss. You need to first go back to your maintenance calories, do a reverse diet. I also did a podcast on that specific topic, and literally just give your body time to stay a little bit eating at maintenance calories and prepare yourself for successful fat loss phase. Because in that case, if you're like, shit, like she's right, like I've been eating 12 or even 14, 15, 1600 calories for a long time and I have been I haven't been losing weight, I've been literally just plateauing the whole time, and then you're metabolically adapted and you, in most cases, literally just lost the ability to lose weight unless you're gonna drop your calories even lower, which is gonna make you feel like garbage, you're gonna hate your life, you're not gonna have a good time, and you're not gonna be able to stick to it. So have you been eating at your maintenance calories? I really want to know. Like, send me a message and be like, hey, I listened to your podcast and you just said something that resonated with me and now I have to do a reverse diet. And if you need help with that, you know where to find me, because I can totally help you with that. So now, when I covered everything on that list, if you have checked off most of these, I want to say like all of them, congratulations, I'm clapping for you, because that means that you're probably ready to start a fat loss phase. And if not, if you're like, no, I haven't really checked off most of it, I just want to say, really just focus on these areas for a few weeks and then, you know, come back to this later. I can't really tell you how long your recovery / reverse diet will take. Maybe you don't even need a reverse diet. Like every single individual is so different, you guys. So if you would ask me like any specific question, I can't really give you the answer because I mean, everyone is different, right? Like it depends on how long you've been dieting, how long you've been in calorie deficit before. Like there is just so many things that affects really what kind of approach you should choose in order to really make your fat loss phase successful. So now let's say that you are 100% ready to start. What can you expect? Well, first off, hunger. I'm actually currently in fat loss phase and I'm going to bed feeling hungry every night, which is normal, right? You will feel hungrier when you're in calorie deficit. It's simply because you're eating less calories than your body needs in order to maintain its weight. So you're eating less, meaning if your body functions properly, you are going to feel hungry, and that's normal. Because your body is used to a certain energy level, let's put it this way, and it's basically like, hey, where is my usual fuel? Like normally I eat 2,500 and all of a sudden I'm at 2,000 or 1,950, which is my case. You will also notice a little bit of like dip in energy, not in like it really depends because it usually happens when you're like further into the fat loss phase. So like the first couple of weeks for me, it's like I don't even notice that. But I'm very like energetic person anyways. Like I have a hard time to sit down and not do anything. But you might feel a little bit like that you're a little bit more tired, especially during your workouts. That's where you can probably notice it the most. But this doesn't really mean that you're anything wrong. It's just part of the process because it's just your body adjusting to having a little bit less food. Regarding the hunger, I also wanted to say that although you will feel a little hungry, you shouldn't feel like you're completely starving. Because if you're gonna feel like, oh my God, like I'm starving to death every night, I feel like my hunger is 10 out of 10, then you're probably in a calorie deficit that might be too big for you. So you might just wanna like up your calories just a little bit because like, unless you're competing, then you don't need to suffer. Like I'll just be honest, but like a little bit of hunger is normal. One thing people don't talk about enough is how the fat loss phase can mess with your gym performance. In some cases it doesn't, in some cases it does. When I was competing and I was like in very like deep calorie deficit, but like guys, I'm talking about like 1,000-1,200 calories a day calorie deficit. You might start feeling like your workouts just are not the best. Like you can't really hit your personal records like PRs, and you just feel like you just can lift heavy. So that's normal. But then other days you might feel like, oh my God, like I'm absolutely crushing my workouts today. When I was in prep, like I was going to say, and I forgot, I actually was feeling pretty good. Like I was prepping for 16 weeks. And by the end of the prep, I was like in very low calorie intake, like I said, and I was still lifting pretty heavy and I was still like hitting PRs, which surprised me personally because I was like, where am I taking or getting this energy from? Like it was just mind blowing. But some people might feel a little bit like, weaker at the gym. And like I said, this is normal and it's okay to sometimes even dial back with the intensity when you need to, especially like having like a deload weeks when you maybe allow yourself to go and do a little bit lighter exercising or like lift a little bit lighter weights. It's totally normal. Okay, guys, so let's get into some strategies to help you manage that fat loss because I think that also plays a huge role in order to be successful. I've done so many fat loss phases that, I feel like I have a lot of tips for you. So first off, focus on high volume food, low calorie food like fruits, veggies, lean proteins. These will help you to feel full without blowing your calories super high. Like protein in particular is a game changer, guys. It keeps you full and protects, like I said before, your muscle mass. So make sure that you have protein in every single one of your meals. The most favorite veggies that are like very high volume, low calories is spaghetti, squash, zucchini, lettuce, spinach. Like these are my go-to because they're like super low calories and really high in volume. Next, you want to prioritize your sleeps. And guys, seriously, if you are not sleeping well, fat loss will not feel like an enjoyable process for you, because lack of sleep will increases your hunger hormones like ghrelin and decreases fullness hormones like leptin. So ghrelin is released and like lets your body sense to your brain signals that you are hungry, and leptin on the other side sends your body signals letting you know that you're full after eating, right? And when you're not sleeping, your hormones are all over the place, so it really makes it really hard for you to stick to a calorie deficit, because you feel like you're always hungry and never feel full and satisfied, regardless of if you're eating shit ton of zucchinis and spaghetti, squash. You just never feel satisfied, along with fiber and proteins and all these things, right? So generally speaking, try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. Hormones plays a huge role during fat loss. For example, guys, as you lose fat, hormones like I said, the leptin, which helps you to feel full, will decrease. I'm repeating myself. Why am I repeating myself? And the ghrelin will make you feel super hungry. I already said that, and I read it again because I have notes here, so forget that. Now the duration, which is probably one of your questions, because I said before, like, okay, so you need to strategically plan your fat loss phase because it's temporary phase, right? So generally speaking, I want to say that you shouldn't go for longer than 12 weeks. In some cases you can, but we typically try with our clients in our program to go max for 12 weeks, while we're also incorporating like diet breaks, refeeds, and all these things to help our clients to get the best results without hitting a plateaus. And anything beyond that, like generally speaking, like anything beyond the 12-week mark, I feel like you're taking a risk of burnout, fatigue, and a big hormonal issues. And this is personally what I experienced when I was in prep, because I lost my period second week in prep, and I struggled to get it back for 2 years. So that's how badly I messed up my hormones during my prep for my bikini show. So guys, I think we're almost done. But just to like wrap it all up, the fat loss phase is about more than just eating less. As you can see, there is just so much that comes or goes into it. Like I just feel like a lot of people just see that as like I need to move more and eat less, but it only goes so far. Like yes, it's true, but if you want to have a successful fat loss, if you want to do it right, and you don't want to put the weight on, you definitely should listen to this, make your notes, and just go and check off all the things that I was just mentioning from the checklist to make sure that you're just not going to feel like garbage when you are trying to lose fat and maintain your muscles. Don't forget that. Also remember, it's just temporarily phase, and it's not forever. So if you've been eating 12, 13, 14, 1500 calories for like, I don't know, for like the last few years or even months, then you've been sticking to fat loss for way too long and you lost the ability to lose weight at this point. So just be patient. Really listen to your body when you start your fat loss once you're ready, and just celebrate every single progress along the way. The reason why I'm saying that is because the weight will fluctuate, right? Like you might have days where the scale is dropping like crazy. Like I lost 6 pounds in like 3 days, like inflammation. It was literally just water after indulging over the Christmas. And now over the weekend, I haven't lost any weight, and I'm still in fat loss, and I'm still gonna be in fat loss for another like at least 10 or 11 weeks. So I know that the weight's gonna fluctuate. I know it doesn't mean that I'm not losing fat because I'm following my plan, but don't get discouraged if the scale doesn't move on a daily basis, because that's just not the reality. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this helpful, share it with your friend who is maybe thinking about starting their fat loss phase, and maybe that's one of those people who chronically diets their whole life. So you might be like, hey, you need to check out this episode because it's very valuable. It is valuable, guys. I gave you so many tips, and I hope that you've learned a lot. And like I said, sharing this episode and leaving me a comment or review helps me to grow my podcast, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sticking with me, listening me for I don't even know, 20 minutes, or I don't even know how long. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, have the best day. Bye, guys.